Hey everyone, welcome into the Flippin' Hippos YouTube channel. I'm Star. If you're new here or you haven't yet, please consider subscribing to the channel and helping us feed a hungry hippo. And don't forget to hit the thumbs up. So right now we're in the midst of the switch over from 2024 into 2025. This time of year, I always do a series on just getting organized, time management, setting up your planners, and just organizing your business and your life. I would be remiss if I did not do a video on menu planning and grocery shopping with a purpose when I'm doing a time management series. One of the biggest time wasters in most people's lives is number one, figuring out what to make for dinner, and two, going to the grocery store without a precise list. And you waste money. So menu planning saves a lot of time. It also saves money and stress and anxiety because you're always going to know what's for dinner. So becoming a person who menu plans and grocery shops with a purpose is going to take training, just like building any new habit. You'll have to force yourself to do it for a little while, but then you'll get used to it and you'll see how much easier it is, how much time you're saving, stress, money, and then you'll wonder how you ever lived without being a menu planner. So to start, I always recommend people just to start very simple. I use a spreadsheet on the computer in Google Drive. You can use a notebook. You can use a dry erase board. You can use note cards, or basically you want to start by just making a list of your family's favorite recipes, the favorite foods that you make time and again that are crowd pleasers that everybody loves to eat. Oh, and side note, you can be a menu planner if it's just you or just you and your partner. Keith and I are empty nesters and I'm a menu planner. We just eat a lot of leftovers. And I make stuff that you can freeze and eat later. You can do this if you live alone or there's just two of you. If you don't like leftovers, some people don't. Keith and I literally could make 2 big meals at the beginning of the week on Monday and Tuesday and eat off of that for the rest of the week, which makes life a lot simpler. Then Wednesday through Sunday, it's already done. We're just heating up leftovers. It's less dishes. It's less mess. But we're okay with that. We only make things that we really like to eat as well. So we are fine with that. But some people aren't. Some people don't like to eat the same thing more than once or twice. So then you would just cut back and make less. So if you want to make tacos, but you don't want to eat them a lot, use only half a pound of hamburger meat. When you bring your meat home from the store, it's not frozen yet. You are absolutely okay in breaking it up in however you need to. Get a kitchen scale and break your hamburger meat into half-pound packages or even a fourth a pound if it's just you. Or if you're someone that likes leftovers, make 2 pounds of taco meat and eat tacos for 2 weeks. But you just have to decide how to cook that's best for you and your family. And any recipe you make, anything you cook can be doubled or cut back. You can cut it in half or even cut it in a fourth. And you just know that ahead of time going into it. I'm going to show you some of my recipes and some of the places I go to get new recipes. But keep in mind that I make large pots of food or big casserole dishes or huge meals that we will then eat on for the rest of the week. I usually do cook really big on Mondays and Tuesdays. I also make a lot of soups and things that we can freeze and then in a couple of weeks revisit it. In fact, I'm going to show you some things on Amazon as well and put the links down below. They will be affiliate links. So if you do purchase them, of course, I get a penny or whatever I get. Not much. I do get a little bit of money. But I'm going to show you some containers I use. Most soups and things you freeze are good for 3 months. So you just want to put, I use masking tape and a Sharpie. I'm not fancy. I didn't get any stickers or special labels. I literally have a roll of masking tape I got for 50 cents at the Dollar Tree, two in the pack for $1, and a Sharpie marker, and I just write the dates. But most soups and things will be good for 3 months. They say leftovers in your fridge are 3 to 5 days, depending on what it is. That's a personal choice. I'll eat up to 5, sometimes a week, depending on what it is. I just don't like to waste food. So if I think we're not going to eat enough of something, I will cut back and make the recipe smaller. Or if we know like the holidays are coming up and we're not going to be eating here as much as his grandparents, I'll make smaller meals or things that I can freeze. You can also freeze a lot of pasta dishes also, like lasagnas and things. So with all those tips and tricks aside, again, write that list, all your favorites, all the things that you make. We all have them. Every family, every household has those dishes that you just make time and time again. Whatever it is, make that list. And then you can add to it whenever you're feeling experimental or froggy. You can go online and find new recipes. I use a spreadsheet for a couple of reasons. One, it's easy for me to take from the top and put on the bottom so that I'm rotating through my recipes all the time. But also I put my spreadsheet in Google Documents because I can pull this up on my phone as well. I have the app for the Google Drive, and I can pull this up on my phone when I'm down in the kitchen and look at this. And I have links here to the recipes in the spreadsheet, which is a nice touch as well. So that's the 3 reasons I use a spreadsheet. When I make something, I can easily take it from the top and put it on the bottom, just like so. You see the chicken noodle soup move? And I can link websites where I got the recipes, and I can pull it up on my phone. And I have mine just organized by beef, and this is roast beef, ground beef, whatever kind of beef, chicken, and soups. We don't eat seafood. We don't eat pork chops or anything like that. Maybe your family does. Everyone's different, and we eat what we like. Like I mentioned, we don't eat anything we don't like. And so this menu here has been honed for 10 years, and it's down to just what we really like. And every once in a while, I'll try something new. One of my favorite places to get new recipes and try new things, it's called Cooking in the Midwest. His name is Luke. He is also on Instagram and Facebook. He might be on TikTok, I think. If he has his links up here, he is. He's also on Pinterest. He does make videos showing him cooking the food, and he has the written out recipes here on his website. Everything I have tried from Luke's recipes is so delicious and amazing. Sometimes I'll tweak it a little bit. I do fancy myself to be a cook, so I've never made a recipe and just stuck to the recipe. I measure with my heart, as my grandma taught me how to do. I measure with my heart, and I have to change things once in a while to accommodate the things that Keith and I do or don't like. But everything, in fact, this is one of our favorites right here. You make a roux with butter and flour, and then add chicken stock and shredded chicken. It is so delicious. We serve ours over mashed potatoes like this, but then I add corn and cheese, and it's kind of like a KFC bowl, sort of, but better because it's all homemade. Everything Luke makes is homemade. He does make all of his gravies and everything from roux. Everything is from scratch with seasonings and stuff, but it's all really easy. He makes it simple. These are such great recipes. If you like slow cookers or crock pots, this is a really good website. It's called the Magical Slow Cooker. You can get so many amazing soups, beef, chicken, desserts, pork if you like pork. I mentioned that we don't, but you might. She's got some barbecue pork sandwiches and stuff. I love the Magical Slow Cooker. I love cooking in a crock pot. I'm busy. Not really. But I do have my own small business that I run. We are empty nesters, so we don't really have children to take care of. And my pet is a hamster. Hamsters are so low maintenance to keep. So when I say I'm busy and I laugh, it's What am I busy doing? Feeding my squirrels and chipmunks in the backyard, running my small business. But I'm still busy, and I like to just throw everything in there, turn it on in the morning, and when I get off work, go downstairs, dinner's ready. And I also like, because crockpot recipes make so much food, you've got a big recipe right there for a couple of nights. I do set mine up the night before, so that's another thing you can learn to do before we get into the Amazon link. So I'll come back over here. You can really, really, really help yourself by learning how to multitask in the kitchen. There's a French expression called mise en place, and it means everything in its place. And so when you get ready to cook, you want to get everything ready and lined up so you can look at your recipe, or if you're making something that you make all the time, you don't need a recipe for. I have a lot of those as well, but I know what I need. So I can get all my seasonings together. I can get all the ingredients lined up on the counter. I can get everything ready to go. All of the tools I'm going to need, pots, pans, utensils, everything is lined up, everything in its place. And then you can easily go through the steps. You want to learn how to cook as you go. I pulled that from the Fly Lady cleaning method that I follow and I've talked about on here. If you've got something simmering on the stove, or you've got something baking in the oven for dinner, you can always empty and load the dishwasher, wipe the counters, clean the dishes as you go. And then you want to learn how to multitask, and menu planning will help you with that, because you can glance up. Let's say tonight's dinner is that chicken I showed you from Luke's website. So I've got my pot on, I've got everything in the gravy, and it's got 20 minutes to simmer. I've got my mashed potatoes going. Now I've got 20 minutes. I can clean the kitchen, glance at my menu. Oh, tomorrow I'm making a meatloaf. So I know to pull a pound of meat out of the freezer and put it down in the fridge so that it can thaw out. Or I can look up and go, oh, tomorrow I was going to make my crock pot Cajun fettuccine Alfredo. So I can grab all the ingredients, throw that in the crock pot, put it in the fridge. Now tomorrow's dinner is done as well. So when you have a menu to reference, and you can get in the habit of multitasking and pre-preparing foods in the kitchen, it really does make life simple. I will say that Mondays and Tuesdays are typically, I call them my heavy days in the kitchen, because I'm making really big meals. And often I do crock pot meals on Tuesday. So Monday's my real big day. Monday, I'm cooking something really big and prepping the crock pot. So I'm basically making 2 meals at once. And then Tuesdays eat a little easier, because we're just eating from the crock pot, and the rest of the week is typically leftovers. And if we don't have enough to get through the week, I can pull out, I have usually 2 different kinds of soups frozen in the freezer, and we can just make some sandwiches with it or whatever. But it's really a good idea to always stay one step ahead. Get your crock pot prepped the night before. If let's say tonight you need to chop an onion. If tomorrow's recipe is also going to call for an onion, chop a second one, put it in the fridge. If you are making a salad for tonight's dinner, make a little extra for your lunch tomorrow or tomorrow's dinner. But whenever you're doing a task, you can always look ahead and do a little bit extra, do a little bit more, clean as you go. These are all good habits that you can get into in the kitchen. I love to cook. I fancy myself a cook. I enjoy cooking. I learned how to cook when I was very small, like this big, at my grandma's knee. She taught me how to make a lot of Southern dishes and how to measure with my heart. And I just always loved cooking. In fact, it's actually a stress reliever for me. It's how I decompress a lot of times. I just go in and start cooking or baking. I love to be in the kitchen. I just love the whole process. But I do approach it much the way I do work or the rest of my life. I approach cooking as I need good routines. I need to batch work. I need to have everything in its place where it goes, organized. Some people talk about having like that triangle in your kitchen where you have everything you need to cook with, everything you clean with, and all of your supplies. Like, you can just set yourself up for success in the kitchen just like you do work. So I do approach it a lot like I do approach my job, just in being organized and having routines and these written lists and menu planning and looking ahead. But I also really enjoy cooking. It is so much fun for me. It's definitely a stress reliever. But if you don't like cooking and it's a task and it's a chore, all of these little tips and tricks I'm giving you will really help you at least get through it a little bit easier. When you have a specific menu plan in place and you know what you're going to eat, you know what you're going to the grocery store for, you mise en place and set everything up and clean as you go, it's going to make your life easier. And it will still be a chore, but not as icky of a chore. I mean, if you don't like cooking, you're never really going to like it. But we all must eat. And when you're not making meals at home or making meals from scratch or learning how to cook or making recipes, you're spending an inordinately waste of money on ready-cooked meals. Now, if that's what you want to do, by all means. But I'm here to help you manage your time and budget your money. That's what I like to do in these planning videos at the end of every year. And part of budgeting and part of saving money is cooking. Rather than buying a frozen dinner, you can make that same thing for half the cost and have twice as many portions. Okay, so let's share my screen again. This is my cutie patootie dry erase board. I love this so much. It has the days of the week where you can write your menu. It dry erases. It comes with one pen that has a magnet on it that sits next to it on your fridge. And it has your running grocery list next to it. That's another thing that we do around here that really helps out. Whenever we notice something is half or a little less than half gone, it goes on the list. So if our milk is half gone, it goes on the list. If my shampoo is half gone, it goes on the list. Only have a couple rolls of toilet paper or paper towels left, goes on the list. When you train your brain and you train yourself to consistently throughout the day as you use the products in your home to notice what's low and write it on a list like this on your fridge. It can be a piece of paper that you stick to your fridge too. It doesn't have to be this. But when you write down all the time as you notice things you need, when you create your grocery list to go to the store, you're going to save yourself a lot of time. I go to the store once a week. We never run out of anything. We never have to go back for something we forgot. We never don't have something important. When I go to the store, I have a list of everything we need for our house and everything that I'm going to cook that week. And I don't forget anything. I don't have to go back out on several different trips or run out of stuff. Being organized really saves your sanity. Do you know people that have to keep constantly going to the store 4 or 5 times a week because they keep forgetting stuff or they run out of stuff? It doesn't happen when you keep track of stuff. So I like this dry erase board only because it has both. It has my menu plan on one side and our running grocery list on the other. I used to just have a blank dry erase board for our menu plan and then like one of those magnetic paper lists for the grocery list, but this has both and I like that. It also comes with this cute, does she show it by itself? Yeah. It comes with this cute conversion chart, which is helpful to any cook, whether you're as experienced as Gordon Ramsay or you're fresh out of high school in your first apartment and learning. These charts are so valuable to anyone who cooks. So this stays on the side of my fridge by my spices. I have my spices in a magnetic spice rack, and they're alphabetized. You don't have to alphabetize your spices, but I do recommend it. It does help with organization. And these are the containers I was talking about. These tall ones are really good to keep soups in. They stack on each other, and you can make little lines in your freezer and stack them up and stick the masking tape to them. They're very tall. I believe they are 32 ounces, so they're like a quart. But they have different sizes. You can get a variety. I have bought the variety pack as well that comes with like the medium and smaller sizes. And that's what we keep our chopped vegetables in for our salads and stuff. So those are 2 really good tools. But I should show you, we do have our Amazon storefront, and these are all affiliate links as well. If you go down here to Star's Kitchen, You'll be able to see all of my cool little tools and gadgets that I use in the kitchen. And everything in here I actually own and use on a daily basis. I don't like to have affiliate links of items that I'm not familiar with. So I will only have affiliate links of items that I've actually used. Most of the stuff I use on a daily basis in my kitchen, and I like all of these items. So I've added them here. And then I also have bullet journaling, shipping, resellers toolbox. I have a lot of different categories in here. And again, it's all stuff that we actually buy and use on a regular basis or have purchased one time use, like our thermal printer that we absolutely love. And my bookshelf, if you're a reader, I love to read. I try to only add books in here that I rated at 4 and 5 stars. So I really only ever do affiliate links of items that I actually believe in, have used, and of books that are, really good. So those are some places to get some recipes, some ideas on how to create your menu and your list. You can rotate through it. Some little tips and tricks for the kitchen. And I'm just going to real briefly give you some tips on your grocery shopping list, and then I will let you go. I know I talk a lot. It's never going to change. I'm a talker. Oh, when you get me started on talking about cooking, which is something I'm so passionate about. I love to cook as much as I love to read. Those are my two favorite things in the whole world to do. Even more than reselling. And I don't like thrifting. I like to cook. First thing that you can do to help yourself save time and money at the grocery store is to go in prepared. As I said at the beginning of the video, it's called grocery shopping with a purpose. You want to go in with a list, and you want to stick to your list. Number 1. Number 2, never go shopping hungry. If you go to the grocery store hungry, you will make those impulse purchases that will make you not only spend more money, but they're usually not the best choices. When you go to the grocery store hungry, those impulse buys are usually things that aren't so healthy and not the best choices. So don't go hungry, and go armed with a list. If you go to the same grocery store every week or bi-weekly, whenever you go, chances are you kind of have the store memorized in your head, right? If you go to the same store week after week after week, you just get accustomed to where things are. Make your list in the order that you go through the store. That will also help you save time. So you can put, for instance, at the store I go to, it's produce, deli, shelves, frozen, household, and then dairy. That's how I work my way through the store. Personals in between shelves and household. So if we ever do shampoo or whatever. But I can write my list in that order. I write my list: produce, deli, shelves, household, frozen, dairy. And so as I'm working my way through the store, left to right, I'm going down my list, and I don't backtrack. That's such a waste of time when you have to keep backtracking and zigzagging all over the store. If you don't have a list and you're all over the place, or if you have a list and it's not in order, you're all over the place. So go with a very organized list. Keep your running list on your fridge or somewhere in a main area of your home that everyone that lives there has access to and can write things down. Train yourself, train your partners, train your kids, train everybody to start writing items on this list when they notice that they're half or less. Keep that running list. And know what you buy all the time. We all have items that we buy every week without fail, whatever that looks like for your family. Keith and I get International Delight cold coffees every week. We get sandwich makings every week. We get cranberry juice every week. Like, it's not new. There's certain things that every family enjoys eating and drinking or snacking on that you get every single week without fail. That's not anything that needs to be on your running list. That just needs to be in your head. And some people don't write a list every week. What you can do is go on your computer and create a master grocery list, put it in the order of your store, type in those items that you buy every week without fail, especially like if you have kids in school and you're packing lunches. There's things you buy all the time. Type those on your master grocery list, and then each week you can print it out. Those are already on there. You don't even have to write them down. Now you've saved yourself even more time. Then you want to write everything on your list from your running list that's on your fridge or a main hub area of your home. Now you can make your menu. So whether you have a dry erase board like I showed you or another place you write it down, you can keep it in your planner. The Fly Lady system has your control journal, which has like your menus in it. I've always liked to have it on the fridge. This harkens back to 20 years ago when my kids were little. I always liked the menu on the fridge where everybody can see it, because everybody knows, if you've had a family, what's for dinner? Mom, what are you making? Mom, what's for dinner? If you have it in a place like on the fridge, everybody can go look. Nobody's surprised. Nobody's upset. You can also have your kids pitch in and pick things. Keith sometimes will have requests. I'll ask him, do you want anything special this week? So you can ask everyone in your house what they want, and then you can rotate your menu like I do, or just pick whatever is on sale at your store. You can look at the ads. And then once you have your menu completed, you will add all of the items you need for each recipe or each meal to your list. It's that simple. So if you're making tacos, you want to put meat, seasoning, ground beef, lettuce, tomato, sour cream, salsa. If you're making spaghetti, you'll need the sauce and the noodles. But once you have the menu, you can go day by day and write all that stuff onto this list. So now when you go to the grocery store, you are armed with this list that has all of your mainstays on it, all of the items that are running low in your home that everyone is helping you keep track of all week, and every single ingredient you need for every single meal you're going to make that week. You're going to go through the store, grab everything just like that. No zigzagging, no backtracking. You're not going to make impulse buys. You're not going to buy stuff you don't need. You're going to get home. You're going to have everything you need. You don't have to go back out 2, 3, 4 times to the store to get things you forgot. You're going to know ahead of time everything you're eating that week, what you're cooking. You can look ahead and prep and get things ready the night before, and just be so much more organized. But it takes away a lot of stress and a lot of anxiety. And it's a way to really manage your time when it comes to dinners and grocery shopping. It saves money. I've been doing menu planning, probably my whole life. Like, as soon as I was out on my own, I implemented it because it's something my mom did and something my grandma did that they always taught me how to do. So if you have any questions, comments, concerns, let me know down below. I will be more than happy to assist you in becoming more efficient in the kitchen. Go make your list of all of the food items and dinners your family likes. Start there. Start small. Just make a list of everything you guys like to eat. And I will see you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.